Now, higher rates obviously is going to light a fuse under the Federal Reserve to impose even harsher medicine on the economy to try to bring down inflation, bring down consumer prices. It had been thought that it was either a half point or a three-quarter point rate increase coming later this month. Now it's almost certainly going to be another three-quarter point increase. Last month's three-quarter point increase was the first one of those we saw since 1994, and already some analysts are speculating that this month's rate hike could be as much as a full percentage point.
So guys, Joe Biden is meeting with business leaders to discuss how the federal government should address the rising inflation rate. Broader financial support will be going out to Americans, and the financial support will just come in the form of a one-time stimulus check. So in this video, I'll be sharing the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus news. Here is the most important news that you have to know. According to a White House official, Joe Biden is meeting with business executives and labor leaders to highlight recent progress in combating inflation and steadying the economy. He is sitting down in person and virtually with the top executives of such companies like Ford, Kaiser, and Carrier. The White House official has said that the meeting is designed to call attention to recent economic progress and seek out ideas to bring inflation down even more. Biden is scheduled to be joined by the Treasury Secretary again and his top economic advisor. CNN has reported that thanks to the president's plan, the U.S. economy has created 10 million jobs, including 700,000 manufacturing jobs, folks. It's all part of the Biden-Harris administration's stimulus checks. Not only that, everybody, but listen to this. According to the White House, they are seeking initial signs that inflation is coming down. For instance, the Consumer Price Index is showing great progress and is moderating inflation, as did the October Consumer Price Index released later this month. The gas prices continue to decline, with gas prices down in all 50 states this week. Joe Biden is also expected to tout key provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act that he signed recently into law. It will take effect very soon. The law's provisions capping monthly insulin co-pays at $35 per prescription for seniors on Medicare, it just kicks in on January 1st, 2023. The law also extended tax credits for those purchasing health insurance through the Affordable Care Act marketplaces that were set to expire at the end of this year. Biden's sit-down with the businesses and labor executives comes 2 days after he returned from a long week trip to several global conferences. It will mark his first opportunity to highlight recent signs that inflation may be cooling down and tout his administration's efforts on that front as well. The law also extended tax credits for those purchasing health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. So now, the Consumer Price Index already slowed to a 7.7% annual gain last month again, a slower pace than the 8% that economists had been expecting. The meeting comes on the heels of the midterm election results, in which Democrats held onto their Senate majority and lost control of the House, but by a far slimmer margin than expected. Now, everybody, more than a dozen additional states have called for state stimulus checks of up to $2,000. They include some of the most populous votes in most populous states, everybody, in the United States of America. Some of these stimulus checks are going to be very large, everybody. For instance, folks, in California, the middle class tax rebate was designed to help offset rising inflation and its impact on taxpayers. Depending on the income limit levels, single filers are eligible to receive between $200 and $350, everybody, while joint filers could have received double that amount. In addition, dependents could back on to additional $200 to $530. It makes the totals anywhere from $200 to $1,000. So meanwhile, taxpayers got a one-time tax rebate over the summer, with eligibility extending to those who filed their tax returns by mid-October. The amounts were $750 for individual filers and $1,500 for joint filers. That's with no provisions and additional amounts for families and dependents. And also in one state, they're making similar provisions to its taxpayers, with similarly higher amounts of $850 for singles and $1,700 for joint filers. Also in Massachusetts, taxpayers received a percentage of their tax liability back to overfunding in the state government. The final amount ended up being 14% of what taxpayers owed on their returns, with refunds starting to get paid to residents beginning in November. So folks, I hope that President Biden could do something about this and do what's right for the American people and send out stimulus payments. We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI.
Values and universal human rights, which are the heart of both our nations. The wellspring of our strength is a shared commitment to liberty and justice for all. Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
La France et les États-Unis défendent les valeurs démocratiques et les droits universels de la personne, qui sont au cœur de nos deux nations. La source de notre force est un engagement commun pour la liberté et la justice pour tous. Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
We are proving to people around the world that democracies deliver from our joint leadership to make sure partners everywhere, and parents everywhere can feed their children, to cooperate and to tackle the climate crisis, and to preserve our planet for generations yet to come. And on this World's AIDS Day, we reaffirm our shared commitment to end the AIDS epidemic by 2030.
Now, the IRS has also confirmed, folks, that many Americans will be receiving a new $1,400 extra stimulus check this year. In this video, I'll be going over the brand new requirements to claim a fourth stimulus check very soon. So, the IRS just said in an official statement that the IRS announced that the agency has issued all third stimulus checks to people. But new parents and other eligible Americans who added dependents in 2021 may also qualify for additional money. This means more stimulus money will be going out. The payments of up to $1,400 a person were authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, and that's a crisis relief bill that Democrats passed in March. Some $1,400 checks may still be in the mail, but the IRS is no longer issuing funds from the first, second, or even third rounds. According to the IRS, the agency issued more than 175 million third-round payments, all to households worth over $400 billion through December 31st. The EIP payments also were issued by the IRS, and that was for $1,200 and $600. Now, families who added a dependent, like a parent, nephew, niece, or grandchild, on their 2021 tax return, and who was not listed as a dependent on their 2020 return, may also qualify for this. The IRS said that other people may be eligible to receive a full third-round payment, and they might not qualify for more. But families can recover additional stimulus money on their tax return by claiming the 2021 Recovery Rebate credit. This is due to the fact that stimulus checks are technically an advance payment of the Recovery Rebate credit. The tax season started Monday and runs through April 18th for most people. To claim the 2021 Recovery Rebate credit, individuals must know how much money they received in total for the third payments. It is important to remember, friends, that this information is available through your online IRS account or via letter 6475, which the agency is mailing to those who received third-round payments. But despite all the financial assistance that has been sent out so far, millions of people still remain in financial distress, and the recent surge of the crisis is just creating new economic headwinds. According to new data from a census survey,